Pardon me, are you Adam Graham?
The very same. And this is my old-time radio snack wagon.
Welcome to the Old-Time Radio Snack Wagon, where we serve up a bite-sized portion of old-time radio. And now, here's your Snack Wagon host, Adam Graham.
Welcome, and for today's snack, we're actually bringing you a taste of something that we shared over on the Great Detectives of Old Time Radio a few weeks ago, and that is another episode of Adventures in Research. Adventures in Research began in 1943 over Pittsburgh's KDKA Radio, a station owned by the Westinghouse Corporation. It was a public service program that initially featured host Paul Shannon interviewing research scientists and featured radio dramas to answer listener questions. Towards the end of its run, it had developed into a series that was still hosted by Shannon, but featured the unusual stories of human progress and achievement that often occurred in the most unexpected ways, without always including a scientific expert on the program. Such is the case of today's episode from February 2nd, 1954, The First Lithographer.
Adventures in Research. This is Paul Shannon bringing you another transcribed story of science produced as a public service in cooperation with the Westinghouse Research Laboratories. Today's story is a special salute to National Printing Week and tells of one of the founders of printing, a penniless German actor who became the world's first lithographer. Some men embark on their careers with a sense of direction that leads them steadily forward. Not so Alois Senefelder. The harder he tried to succeed in the theater, the more fate led him away from it. Every important event in his life seemed to be one more link in a chain of circumstance that led him to discover lithography. Take that afternoon in the year 1796 in Munich, Germany. That was the day his mother found him at his desk, deeply engrossed in something he was writing.
Alois, time for dinner. Alois.
Yeah, Mama. In a minute.
In a minute. Always in a minute. Dinner is ready now.
Yeah, Mama. In a minute.
Alois, you will be late to the theater.
Yeah, Mama. I come right away.
But we have Sauerbraten. It will get cold.
Just as soon as I rewrite this speech.
Speech? You are writing a speech?
No. I'm writing one speech in a play.
A play? Since how long are you writing this play?
Oh, more than a month now.
Alois, listen to me. It is bad enough you are an actor, making only a few marks a week. Must you also be a playwriter? Do you want us to starve to death?
Mama, you do not understand. This play will make me famous, rich. I will be the talk of Munich. Here, let me read you some of it.
Not now, Alois. Dinner is waiting.
I will read just a few lines from the scene where Ludwig asks the Grand Duke for the hand of his daughter Louisa. Now, where is that part? Here. Now, Ludwig has just told the Duke that he loves Louisa and wants to marry her. The Duke objects to this. He gets up from his chair, he walks over to Ludwig, he shakes his fist under his nose, and he says...
Alois, please, dinner.
He says, Ludwig, you will never marry my daughter. Never, do you hear? Never.
Everything will get cold.
Then Ludwig draws himself up to his full height. He looks the Duke in the eye and he answers, Very well, Your Grace, but someday, when it is too late, you will come to understand that there are other things in this world besides money. Bye. Well, What do you think?
I think it is enough of this nonsense. Come to your dinner.
All right, Mama, all right. But this dinner had better be good, because it is about to be eaten by the only actor of Munich who will soon be Germany's most successful playwright.
Writing a play was the first link in the chain of circumstance. The second link? Well, several evenings later, after a performance, Senefelder walked into the manager's office to show him the play he had written.
Well, Herr Meisinger, how did you like my performance this evening?
Well, it was fair.
And did you like the way I said my speech at the end of the second act?
Yes.
And what did you think of the love scene?
Quite satisfactory. My boy, I've been wanting to talk to you. I have some unpleasant news.
Oh?
I do not like to tell you this. Frankly, I'm not very good at such things. But here is the situation. I've been ordered to cut expenses. You are really an extra member of our company, you know.
Are you trying to tell me I'm dismissed?
Yes, at the end of the run of the play.
Well, I guess that's that.
I must say you take it very calmly.
And why not? After all, there are other theaters in Munich.
Senefelder, listen to me. I have been in the theater a good many years. I think I know a good actor when I see one. You are not a good actor. Get into something else, something more suited to your abilities.
But, Herr Meisinger, the theater is my career, my life. I want to be an actor, almost as much as I want to be a playwright.
A playwright?
Yeah, I have written a play.
You have written a play?
Yeah. And now you have forced on me the perfect reason to sell it.
Oh, so you think you will be able to sell it?
And why not?
Well, it's... Senefelder, if I were you, I would get a job in something that has no connection with the theater. The theater will be better off. And so will you.
Losing his job was the second link in Senefelder's chain of circumstance. If he hadn't lost his job, he wouldn't have turned to an ill-tempered old publisher named Hans Richter. One afternoon in Richter's office, the third link in the chain was forged.
Good morning, Herr Richter.
Oh, it is you, is it? I thought I told you on Monday not to come back for a while.
Well, I think today was the day we agreed on.
Was it? Well, no matter. What I have to tell you can just as well be said right now.
You have read all my plays?
Just one. That was sufficient. Never in all my days have I read such nonsense. You expect me to publish it? They would laugh in my face.
Which one of my plays did you read, Herr Richter?
The one about King Arthur and the Round Table. Really, Herr Kronenfelder.
Senefelder.
Ah, very well, Senefelder. Let me tell you something. Your play is impossible.
Herr Richter, you must be mistaken. Perhaps if you read the other two...
Nonsense. Either a man can write or he cannot. If he cannot, he should sell shoes or build houses or join the army.
Herr Richter, you are making a mistake.
Making a mistake? Me? Look here, Rosenfelder.
Senefelder.
Senefelder. I am in the publishing business for one reason only. To make money. I know the kind of thing the public will read. It will not read what you have written. Is that clear?
Perfectly. Will you please give me my manuscripts?
With pleasure. Here. And by the way, Eisenfelder...
Senefelder!
All right. Do not be so sensitive. If you are thinking of taking that drivel to another publisher, you are wasting your time.
And it so happens I am thinking of taking it to another publisher.
Ah, who?
Me.
You?
Yeah. If nobody else will publish my work, I will. And I assure you, the public will read it and like it. And someday, Herr Richter, you will regret the day you rejected it.
When Senefelder decided to become his own publisher, that was the fourth link. At first, he thought of engraving his work on copper plates, the usual process. But copper plates were expensive. So were the necessary tools. Therefore, he fell back on an old hobby of his, writing on stone, specifically, and what is called Kelheim stone. The crayon he used was composed of wax, soap, and lampblack. One afternoon, while he was polishing a piece of this stone, his mother burst into the room.
Alois, you must help me. Alois, I need you.
Yeah, Mama, what is it you wish this time?
The laundress is here, and I have been looking all over the house and cannot find any.
Oh, you cannot find any what, Mama?
Alois, she has no time to lose because she must get home to her family. And I have looked everywhere, all over the house, from top to bottom.
Mama, please. What are you looking for?
I am looking for a piece of paper.
A piece of paper? Why didn't you say so? I should have some around here somewhere. Now let me look a bit. Oh. I must have used it all up this morning.
So, all the paper in the house you use for this printing of yours, and what I have to write down a laundry list.
A laundry list? Oh, so that's it.
Of course.
Well, Mama, tell me, what are you sending to the laundress, and I will mark it on this stone.
Ach, du lieber, who ever heard of writing on stone?
Mama, please leave that part to me. Now, where's that crayon? Here it is. Now, Mama, read the list to me.
Very well, Alois. Write this down. 5 bed sheets.
5 bed sheets.
5 pillowcases.
5 pillowcases.
10 towels.
Several weeks later, Senefelder started to wipe the laundry list off the stone so that he could use it for another experiment. Suddenly, for some reason which Senefelder himself could never later explain, it occurred to him to leave the writing and to try to etch away the stone around it with nitric acid. Surrounding the stone with a border of wax, he covered its surface with a mixture of 1 part nitric acid and 10 parts water. At the end of 5 minutes, the stone was etched enough by the acid that the writing was elevated 1/120th of an inch. He was just ready to test out the idea of printing from it when...
Alois, I need you. To the shop. We are out of bread and Oh, same thing again?
Yeah, Mama, look. Look at your laundry list.
Laundry list?
Yeah, the one I wrote on the stone, remember?
Yeah, that was weeks ago.
I know. But only now have I etched it on this stone, and I shall see if it will print.
On paper?
Certainly. See, the letters are raised up from the rest of the stone.
Yeah.
And now I'm ready to apply some printing ink to the stone.
Alois, forget this nonsense. You must help
No,
me.
Mama. For once, you will help me. Now, hand me that ink roller.
This?
Yeah. Now, first I apply the ink thoroughly. Very thoroughly. There. Now, you hold that piece of paper firm and smooth while I press down the stone. You ready?
Yeah, I hold the paper.
Yeah. Now, good. Hold. Here comes the stone now. There.
So, it is done. Now, Alois, I need a loaf of bread and
Not yet, Mama, please. I must lift the stone so we see what happened.
Very well. Lift it up, Alois.
Yeah, Mama. Now hold down the paper. Slowly. Very slowly. Look. It printed. And it's as clear as crystal. Read it. Go ahead, read it.
Me?
Of course.
5 bed sheets. 5 pillowcases. 10.
And so, by the merest chance, Alois Senefelder hit upon the process of relief engraving on stone. It so inflamed his interest that he made many more experiments. 2 years later, in 1798, he made another equally important discovery. He found that he could reproduce printing from the surface of the stone without first etching the writing in relief. This was the process that came to be known as chemical surface printing, or lithography. Today, a similar process called photolithography, offset lithography, or simply offset, has been brought to a high state of perfection. In the last 2 decades, new presses, new inks, new techniques have revolutionized the lithographic industry and made it a high-quality, high-speed method of printing. Yet its basic principle is still the one discovered so long ago by Alois Senefelder, a principle he might never have given to the world were it not for the strange chain of circumstance that led him to his far-reaching adventure in research. And that's today's Adventures in Research, produced in cooperation with the Westinghouse Research Laboratories. These programs are broadcast to Armed Forces personnel overseas through the facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Join us again next week for another transcribed story of science on Adventures in Research.
It's worth noting that Senefelder received numerous honors, including having 2 plants named after him, as well as an U-Bahn transit station in Berlin. There are 2 statues erected in his honor, including one in the town where lithographic stone is still quarried. Definitely not the outcome anyone would have bet on, including his mother and all the critics, but that's history, and it really was a fascinating story. As we said on the Great Detectives podcast, while Adventures in Research would end in 1955, Paul Shannon's career would continue for another 2 decades, as he'd host the children's program Adventure Time from its first episode in 1958 until his retirement. Shannon spent decades bringing children and adults interesting adventures, and we'll be sure to feature more as time goes on the Old Time Radio Snack Wagon.
It's time for me to close up the old snack wagon, but don't worry, we'll be back with another serving of old-time radio goodness before you know it. If you want to enjoy some of our longer-form podcasts, you can feast away at my website at greatdetectives.net. Your emails are also welcome at adam@snackwagon.net.
The Old Time Radio Snack Wagon comes to you from Boise, Idaho. Your host is Adam Graham. Sound production is by Rhines Media, LLC. You can listen to past episodes of the Old Time Radio Snack Wagon as well as connect on social media at our website at snackwagon.net. Email suggestions for episodes to adam@snackwagon.net. This has been the Old Time Radio Snack Wagon.
Until next time, goodbye.